And now for our feature presentation.
Welcome to the Hustle Radio hosted by LV, where we interview hustlers, entrepreneurs, and overall go-getters. One-way ticket to the top. What up, Vegas, nationwide? Welcome to the Hustle Radio Show hosted by LV, and today we got a special guest, Ivon Natera, owner and CEO of Aztecs Tax Solutions here in Las Vegas. Welcome to the show, Ivon.
Thank you for having me, Luis. I'm excited to be your second guest on your podcast.
Yes, and the first woman. Yeah.
Power.
Yeah, let's toast.
Toast.
Yeah.
Cheers. Cheers to water.
Saluti. So, I wanted to know a little bit about yourself. I know you have a business here in Las Vegas. You do tax preparation, and right now you're specializing in business strategies, correct?
Yes. So my background is I'm originally from Omaha, Nebraska. Do you guys want to hear a fun fact about Omaha, Nebraska?
Yes,
Warren
we do.
Buffett is from Omaha, Nebraska.
What? Okay.
Yes. Cornhuskers. And Crawford, who is going to fight next month, he is also from Omaha.
Wow, entrepreneurs and successful people coming out of Nebraska. Yeah. I like it.
Yes. Okay. And I own two businesses. So my primarily business is Aztec Tax Solutions, and the other business is Aztec Insurance Agency.
Okay.
Okay. And I've been living in Las Vegas since 97. May of 97 is when I moved from Omaha, Nebraska to LV.
Nice.
Yes. And so I started in the insurance industry. I got my license, I would say back in like 2000, my insurance license, which is property and casualty. And then I worked for farmers, a few different independent brokers. And I also worked for my sister. That's where I learned Spanish. Because when I moved here, I knew no Spanish. I could just understand.
So you're Hispanic, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm third generation. So when I started working with my sister, all I knew were numbers. So and she's like, hey, all you're gonna do is take payments. I'm like, okay, cool, I can take payments. I took Spanish in high school and college, and then when I started working at her insurance agency, taking payments was not easy because then they just started bombarding, asking me all these questions. I was like, help.
Yeah, because you didn't know enough about taxes.
Yeah. No, because my sister owned an insurance agency.
Oh, okay.
So my background is insurance.
Okay, so like home and auto.
Yeah, so she would do, so back then it was just personal auto, and that's when auto insurance was super cheap in Vegas, and they would sell like 20 policies a day. So I thought it was going to be easy. She thought it was going to be easy too. You're just going to take payments and that's easy. You know your numbers, but that wasn't the case. But that's how I started learning Spanish. I understood Spanish. Like I said, I took it in school. I could read it, write it, but I could not talk it.
Speak it, yeah.
Yeah. And so I worked for my sister for a while, and then I opened up my own agency in 2005, which is Aztec Insurance Agency. And then...
Is it on DI or that was like your second spot?
No, that was my first. That was my first location because I worked for different like independent agency owners. Like I said, I worked for farmers and a few other different ones. And but you know what? I wasn't meant to be an employee.
Good for you.
So then as soon as I started my own, it was totally different. Then you got to learn all the management. And, I made a lot of mistakes because when you do not know what you're doing and you just know how to sell, but you don't know the back end and systems and processes, like you learn from mistakes firsthand.
Correct.
And I guess that's one of the best ways to learn, but that's just part of being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, so everybody starts from somewhere. You started with your sister later on. You were doing it by yourself. You opened your own spot. And later on, when did you decide to do taxes, regular W-2s and personal taxes?
Okay, so how I got into the tax industry. So I had a tax pro who actually prepared taxes at my office. And I think that was like in 2008, 2010, I would say. So she would just do taxes out of my office. And that's when people would charge super low tax prep fees. So the fees were like $60 to $80. And she would just have like lines of clients waiting. And then I was like, you know what? I need to learn how to do taxes. And then I had a friend. Who introduced me into actually preparing taxes, but with a bank product.
Oh, wow.
So he came in and he's like, oh, hey, I want to introduce you to someone else. Do you want to purchase a software? And I'm like, oh, okay. So I didn't know anything about taxes. Like I said, I didn't prepare taxes myself. So then anyways, I'm like, okay, yeah. He's like, hey, do you want to make more money? Those $60 that you're making, you can charge $300-$400
Wow.
instead of $60 to $80. I'm like, okay. So then I did some trainings and this and that. And then I started, then I got certified to prepare taxes. And so I went from making $60 to $80 a client to a few $100s a client. But the thing is, the lady that prepared taxes in my office, she had this humongous like clientele, but nobody wanted me to help them.
Oh, wow.
So I'd be there. She'd have like 10 people waiting. And I'm like, hey, I can help you. But they're like, no.
So what was the benefit?
Like, but that's how people are, especially when you're preparing someone's taxes.
Yeah.
People are usually loyal and they don't want to go to anybody new. So I would be like, hey, so then I would tell her, I'm like, hey, just tell the clients that I can do the data entry and, and then you can check everything. And so that's how we started. And that was it. So then I only did just personal taxes, like very easy taxes, just like 1040, maybe a Schedule C. And then in 2019, that's when I got introduced to more business taxes, tax resolution, and that's when I brought in my tax business. I had seen Antonio Nava, and I had taken one of his courses for business taxes, and that's the first time I was introduced to preparation of business taxes and the structure and this and that.
So the software that you purchased, how come it increased so much your revenue per file?
Okay, so as far as like going back to the bank product, the bank product is when we charge our tax preparation fee out of your refund. So for example, say your refund is $5,000. We're going to charge, I don't just say, just to make the numbers easy, we charge you $500, and then there's a bank fee, which is like electronic filing fee, bank fee, like all the fees, and they're usually about $140. So then our fees come out of your refund. So when they send you your refund, they send it to the tax bank. The tax bank takes my fees out, their fees out, and then they send the taxpayer the rest.
Okay.
And so that's how a lot of people don't know about bank products, but that's how I started making more revenue is through bank products.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't like bank products because what if you're a client, what if they owe money to IRS, they owe child support, student loans, then no one gets paid and you basically work for free.
Oh, wow. Yeah, but the main priority is always helping the client, to help them save money, structure their tax preparation. Obviously, the first consultation, you got to get to know them personally. You focus on them directly. And based on their income, based on their business, based on their background, you can help them itemize all those products that can help them reimburse them more money. So at the beginning, it's not about how much do you charge, it's how much you can save them.
Right.
Other companies that charge a minimum amount, like TurboTax is free. You can file it yourself, but there's a lot of mistakes that they can make. And also, you're not taking advantage of the products or the benefits of having a tax professional oversee your tax so they can credit you back, for your child, for daycare, other items that people maybe forget to input when they log in and file their taxes.
Yeah. So, okay, like I said, I started with just simple personal taxes, and then I moved into business taxes. And so when I started venturing more into business taxes, that's when I learned how to do, the strategies, how to tax plan. And that's when I joined my mentor, his program, which has been the best thing I have ever joined, because I am learning not only the tax side, but I'm learning the legal side. So tax and legal, they go hand in hand. And that's when I started, taking a ton of classes so I could understand the concept, so I could help my clients, and it matters who you work with.
Correct.
Because especially now with everybody online, on TikTok, everywhere on social media, everybody's a tax expert. It really matters who you work with. And so I'm certified with Mark Kohler.
Shout out to Mark Kohler.
And I've met a lot of great people who are in that mentorship. But now, now with years of, taking the classes and meeting different people, I can look at your, what you have going on, depending,
Correct.
If you're, so say, for example, say if you have a business and you file it on your personal taxes, which should be on a Schedule C. A Schedule C is a profit or loss sole proprietorship form. Depending on, how much income you have, gross sales minus expenses equals net profit. So if you're at 50,000 or more, then we recommend let's convert you to an S corporation.
Okay, that was my next question. When would somebody actually take the time to meet up with you and also schedule their business? When did they move up from sole proprietor to LLC to S-Corp to C-Corp?
Yeah. So what we recommend is, so the first step would be you have to have an LLC. If you do not have an LLC, you cannot convert your LLC to an S corporation. And an S corporation, it's just an election. So it's a tax filing with IRS. So you still have an LLC, but you're just taxed as an S corporation. So first step is LLC. And any business owners, even though they're about to start their business, just go ahead and do an LLC. Yes.
ASAP. Number one step.
So
number one step.
What I recommend, you always want an LLC for asset protection.
Okay.
Because especially if you're working in a business like my business, your business, we have a lot of exposure. And especially living in Las Vegas, people love to sue here. Like here in Vegas.
It's a new trend. Everywhere you go, you see the billboards of new
billboards,
lawyers.
In a wreck, need a check. Like, that's all. And,
correct.
And I also sell insurance. So Las Vegas, I think we're like the third or fourth highest for personal injury claims.
Wow.
So if you're in an accident, involved in an accident, even if you're not hurt, you're going to go hire an attorney and the attorney is going to max out the insurance limits.
Wow.
So, so it's super important to make sure that your business is protected and your personal assets are protected. And by doing that, it's recommended to have an LLC. And then once you get the LLC, then, if you're netting, which is gross sales minus expenses equals your net profit, then that's when we recommend, hey, we can save on self-employment tax. Let's convert your LLC to an S corporation. And that's when the tax savings just start coming.
And that's what you're doing right now with my file.
Yes. So we had to do, the first step was we had to create an LLC for you. So
and the thing I never did an LLC because I've been doing real estate for 5-6 years. I have never exceeded my income, a different bracket. But thankfully, 2024 was a good year for me.
You killed.
I was I was able to exceed my limit. I was able to jump to the next bracket, and because of that, now I owe around $25,000 to the IRS. So I went to meet up with Ivon. I let her know about my situation. She was, you know what? Congrats. This is the first step. Let's do your LLC, do the S-Corp. And basically what you told me about that was like the second step. Once we convert to S-Corp, my company, then we can save on taxes because in my LLC, sole proprietor, I was doing around 15% tax bracket. Self-employment tax. And then in the next level, now we can maybe potentially cut it down to half of the current sole proprietor or tax bracket.
And so what self-employment tax is, because a lot of people, they don't know all the super
I don't know
lingo. So self-employment tax, it's referred to as FICA, which is Social Security and Medicare. So when you are a business owner on a Schedule C, you are paying self-employment tax at a percentage of 15.3%, which consists of Social Security and Medicare. And so once we convert you, then it will be lower to 7.6%. but then the owner has to be on payroll.
Okay.
So, and and I don't really want to get into that because it's kind of confusing.
Yeah.
But but once if you want to meet with your tax person, or or you can contact me, and then we can go more into it, and then I can show you on how you can save on taxes. And then as far as not just saving on taxes, what we also demonstrate, it's called a trifecta. And the trifecta is a whole overview of exactly what you have going on. Like your ordinary income would be on the left-hand side. Passive income is income that is not generated by you actually working. So, for example, that would be like rental properties, like if you had crypto, any type of retirement accounts that would be on the right-hand side. So that's called passive income. And passive income, you do not pay self-employment tax. You only pay self-employment tax on the left side, which is ordinary income, which is earned by you actually working in the business. And then it flows down to your 1040, and then you can do the revocable living trust, and then that would be more estate planning.
Wow, that's amazing.
So I mean, so I do draw the trifecta, which is from Mark Kohler. But the trifecta, it gives you a clear vision of of what you have going on, of what your future plans are, estate planning, and it's more visual, gives you a better like overview of what's going on.
And the great thing, what I've been seeing now, like in the city, even nationwide, I've been seeing a lot of people, especially with social media, starting their own businesses, either selling items online. Also, people opening up their own little shop here in town, trying to make it a business, little troquitas or little trucks, serving food, tacos or sushi.
I see so many businesses. So
like right now in Las Vegas, it's exploding, right? Yes. So it will be our option, our suggestion to start right away talking to a tax professional so you can set up your business for the long term.
Yeah. Yes, because it's important. It's important to get guidance, and to get guidance by a professional, not just by somebody or a Thea, or a friend.
Correct.
Like I hear that all the time. I'm like, no, we don't go by somebody who's not a professional. Do not take advice from them because it's going to be wrong. So
correct.
Look for a professional in your area, or that's what I recommend. That's where I learned everything from. And I'm always learning. I feel like a professional student right now.
I know. I always see you traveling, going to seminars.
It's a tax write-off. So if you do any type of continuing education, or if you attend any type of conferences, that is a write-off. You can write off your airfare.
What will be the percentage of that? Or deduction?
I think it's like 50. Don't quote me on it, because just with everything's changed.
Laws change all the time.
February, I think when Trump got elected. So there are a lot of changes. So I think it's like 50%, I would say, travel. But don't quote me on that.
Okay. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, I see you traveling, going to different events nationwide, and you're always learning. You always learn about yourself. Always you come back excited. And I believe right now you're focusing on business strategies and mostly businesses,
right,
rather than regular W-2s.
Yes. So because that's what I'm learning is,
correct,
how a business owner can save on taxes, how to tax plan, and because I see so many new clients who come in, and like, for example, I had a client come in the other day. They grossed almost $500K, and they are on a Schedule C. I don't even think they were an LLC.
Wow. And
they owed IRS, I don't know, like 50, 60,000. But just everything on the tax return was like,
it was basic.
It was a mess. It was a mess. I'm like, where did you go? But I just see so many different mistakes, and just like you can save on taxes. And what I see a lot too are clients who come in and they don't know like anything. And so a lot of them will have like a S corporation, and they don't even know anything about it, like nothing. like the owner has to be on payroll, there's reasonable compensation, but they know nothing. So what I try to do in my office is educate my clients. Even if you're not my client, I do a lot of like phone consultations, and and people are shocked. They like know nothing, or the information that they do know, it's wrong.
Correct. There wasn't advice in the beginning. The good thing with you, people can go to your office, have an in-house consultation. You prep their whole file in front of them. You explain to them step by step about the next step on their business. And that's a structure that is necessary for them to grow their own business and save money. Obviously you charge X amount for your service, but it will compensate. Is well compensated because you save them
And it's
more than enough. Yeah, you save them more than enough on the back end. So people gotta be open to do everything correctly the right way since the beginning.
Yes, and like whatever my tax prep fee is, it's going to be a write-off. So you might as well spend money in your business than give it to Uncle Sam.
That's right. That's pretty cool. And where's your office located at?
My office is on Decatur and Desert Inn. So if you're here in Las Vegas, you can stop by. If not, we do a lot of Zoom calls, virtual, remote. You don't have to be here in Las Vegas. And I prepare taxes all over the United States, not just Las Vegas, because a lot of
so nationwide.
I could only file taxes, prepare taxes in Las Vegas.
So if you guys are in Nebraska, in California, in Chicago, Florida, talk to Ivon. She's always available. She's always in the office. I think she works like 6 days a week for what I see online.
Yeah.
A workaholic. But she's the best in the business, locally, nationwide. If you're a new business owner, thinking about opening your own business, or simply you've been an owner for a lot of years, but now you want to be more informed about the process, about how to take it to the next level, contact Ivon. She'll be gladly help you out in English and Espanol. You guys are always available.
Sí, hablo español.
Yeah, but this is directly for the business owners. If you
I'll add one more thing. Even if you're thinking about, hey, I have an idea, I might want to start a business. I can give you some. I can give you some insights. I talk to a lot of business owners. I see a lot of different type of income from all types of industries. So even industries, I'm like, wow, you're making that much money doing that. So I'm going to share one thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
I had like a 16-year-old kid call me.
Wow.
And this kid, I think he sells some type of codes for gaming. So when I talked to him, I didn't know he was 16 when I was talking to him, but he was generating, I think, like 20,000 gross a month. But then he told me that he had the business under, it was the mom or dad's name. And then I'm like, hey, do you know that your mom and dad, they're going to be responsible for owing taxes on
any tax debt?
And he was like, so he didn't know any of that, but just he knew how to make money. So, and yeah, I was just shocked. And he said he's been doing it for a few years, and somebody told him, hey, you should do it on Shopify. I think he had like some type of Shopify store. Yeah, but I was shocked. At 16 years old, he was like grossing $20,000 a month.
Wow. So you're going to be able to help him out to do his taxes?
Well, I told him, like, hey, we need to talk to your parents. Like, I need to speak to everyone who's going to be involved, because his parents, the parents didn't know that he was grossing $20,000 a month.
And plus, if it's registered business, the Uncle Sam knows about it. So either you take care of that fix right now, or wait until the end, where it's going to be like a lot of money owed.
Yeah, because so all the income that's going to be generated, it's going to get distributed in a 1099K. So in one of the parents' names. So they're going to receive all this income. And if they don't report it, IRS, they will find it, and then they will adjust your tax return and add the income not in your favor.
Wow. And what are some of the tax deductions that a regular sole proprietor or a regular person might be missing when they do their taxes every year?
So how IRS works, it's called like Ron's rule. You can deduct any expense that is ordinary and necessary to operate your business, but it has to be business use. It cannot be personal and business use. It has to be business use. So, like, for example, you on social media, you hear a lot of people want to deduct everything, like my clothing. I cannot deduct my clothing unless I have my logo on it. So, I have a blazer, slacks, but my business name is not, I don't have a logo on anything. So this is not a write off. It's different if you're an influencer or a model, then we can look into it. But like, for example, like what you have on, that would not be a write off.
Okay.
It has to have your logo.
Okay.
And even if you have your logo inside,
Yeah.
you can get away with that.
Okay, that's good to know.
And then also, like travel, business miles, in your industry, the realtors, you guys drive around all day. The business mileage deduction, I think it's like 66 cents a mile. I'm not sure if they changed it for 25, but yeah, that's one of the biggest write-offs. And, and anything that you pay in licensing, like to get your LLC.
What about for food?
For food, yeah. So, okay, food, but it would only be if you're having a business meal. So a business meal consists of yourself, someone else, and you just have to note it and what was the purpose of the meeting. So like right now, if we go to lunch, that would be a write-off because we're going to be discussing business.
Correct.
And just remember, you have to keep copies of the receipts because in case you do get audited, most auditors want to see the receipts. They don't want to see bank statements. I mean, if you have bank statements, that's good, but they want to see the actual receipt. I've seen a few new clients come in and they got audited. They had bank statements and IRS, they did not accept bank statements.
Wow. And how long do the IRS go back to do an audit?
I think they can audit you whenever they want.
Okay, but maybe 2 years back,
No,
3 years back.
You know what?
It varies.
It's I think they can go indefinitely if there's some type of fraud or tax evasion, they can go indefinitely. But I think like the standard, I think is 3 to 5 years. You're supposed to get copies of your tax return. Yeah, but I've seen so many different scenarios of people getting audited. Like I had a new client who was conducting his business. This is an important thing.
Okay.
So when you
listen up.
So when you have a business and you are flowing your personal income with your business income, IRS can consider all that income as business. I had a client who had a trucking business. He was conducting everything out of his personal account.
Okay.
He got audited. His tax pro did not help him. And he did the audit on his own, which I do not recommend. So he went from owing $3,000 to $30,000.
Wow.
And so what IRS did is they considered all the personal income as business income. And so he was taxed at, 15.3%, the net profit plus whatever tax bracket he was in.
Wow.
And so he didn't know anything about he should, he's like, I heard I should have an LLC, but I'm like, no, we need to do this and that. But yeah, so you learn, you don't want to learn that way. And I feel like now IRS, they are sending out a lot of audit letters. And I think it might be more like AI generated because I've been seeing a lot lately.
Wow.
And as far as last year and the prior years, I didn't see as many as I've seen now.
Yeah, there's a thing right now, a lot of businesses, IRS, government entities, even ourselves, the MLS, they're using AI to track expenses, to track debt, to track mistakes in any form. So it could be a sort of two, it's, like a sword, a double-edged sword, using AI for good or using AI for bad. And it might affect some of the businesses.
And then, and what's kind of messed up is when you call IRS, they take forever to answer, but they are so quick to bill you. Mm-hmm. And then they just got rid of, I don't know how many thousands of employees. So I think it's going to get rough. It's going to get rough. The actual hold time is super long now. It's getting longer. And yeah, who knows what's going to go on.
I know. Yes. It's ridiculous right now.
So what's new with yourself?
With myself, everything's going great.
How's the market in Vegas?
The market, so my opinion, the market is a neutral market. It's not a buyer's market, it's not a seller's market. Why is it a buyer's market? Is because buyers have options now, either to buy a resale home, a used home, or buy a new construction home. The resale home, if you do a regular loan, will be 6.5, 7% interest rate. So now the new construction homes are competing against the resale homes and regular lenders. They're offering great incentives to first-time home buyers or conventional buyers, VA buyers, any buyers. They're offering them low interest rate of around 3.9% interest rate.
Almost half.
Yeah, 3.9 interest rate. And also you get your closing costs already paid off.
And then you get a new house.
You get a brand new house, 2025 model. So the thing is like the new houses, obviously they're like smaller in square footage. And also they have HOAs. They have higher taxes compared to a resale home. Maybe it doesn't have HOA. Maybe it does. Maybe it does. It has lower property taxes. So there's the pros and cons. So
like with the newer homes, the lot is smaller than the older homes?
Usually it's around 6,900 square feet lot area. With the new construction homes, they're maybe like half the size of the lot. So, but right now, a lot of the new generation kids, Gen X or Gen Z, they don't really thinking about buying a big property.
They don't even care to go outside.
Yeah, they don't care to go outside. They want to stay inside in the comfort of their own home. So for them, for Generation Z or X, whatever it's called, it's a good benefit for them because there's no landscaping. They don't have a yard. Maybe they don't gotta go outside. They don't gotta go outside. They stay inside. So there's a lot of benefits about that. Now for the sellers, like I said, it's not a seller's market either. It's neutral. Why? Because the sellers right now in 2025, they still have the same mentality of being a seller in 2023, 2022, where the housing was going up, where the housing market was going up, and because people were overpaying in that time because the interest rate was low. People were overbidding for properties. People overpay for properties. So if a regular property costs $350 in 2022, people pay $80,000 above asking price. Now they're paying $410,000 for the property. So the property is the same property, but the value got elevated. You know, so now the thing that the property is.
So now everything's going back.
Yeah, now it's going. It's stabilizing little by little. So this, like I said, there's pros and cons. Depends on the seller itself. If it's like an investment property, it'll be easy for them to get rid of. But if it's your primary home, now you need the money for X, or you're relocating to a different state for X reason, you want to maximize your return, net profit on the property. But like I said, one buyer. And they have two options. The resale home costs more money, it's a little older, or a new construction home, they might be a little smaller, but it's brand new. So the same buyers is split in two.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, for example, recently I had a buyer. We submitted two offers on two different properties. We offer above asking price on those properties. That property was around $350, $370. And why is it? Because they have multiple offers. Why? Because they had no HOA, single-story home, remodel. So people are going for those properties. You know, more regular people going for those properties. In this case, we had multiple offers, so we lost the property. We wasn't going to pay $30,000 above asking price.
If there's multiple.
Yeah, because if there's a gap, most of the time the buyer needs to pay the difference. So, and some other properties are standing still on the market. Why? Because maybe they're in a gated community, maybe they have a high HOA, or maybe a lot of properties in the same neighborhood are for sale. So now you're competing against other similar properties. So now the buyer in those instances have the best option. You know, like, okay, now I can decide which property to go to.
The upper hand.
The upper hand, correct. But it just depends. It just depends on everything. Right now I have a client moving in from, northern states here in America.
Like Northern California?
No, northern, like the Midwest, or
it's cheap there in the Midwest.
Yeah, so they're considering buying a property here, and they're retiring. So they're considering buying a property here in Las Vegas, or in Florida, or in Texas. Texas, obviously
No state tax. Florida, Nevada, no state tax.
Yeah, so that's a good benefit. But for example, Florida, the homeowners insurance policies are sky high. They're to the roof. Why? Because based on the natural disasters, So that would be a pro and con. You move to Florida, you get the beach, you get the nice weather sometimes, but then the homeowner's insurance might not cover your property if it's older, or you're paying double what you would be paying here in Las Vegas because of the high risk.
Like the hurricanes.
The hurricanes, natural disasters.
We don't have anything here.
Oh, here we don't got nothing. What we got?
We just have heat.
We just got heat, super high. We might melt, but
Excessive heat.
But we will be
Today.
okay.
It's excessive heat.
Yes. So that was going on right now.
Okay.
Yes, and right now we're halfway of the year. Projected to maybe do the same amount of business as last year, but I want to break through that ceiling and do like 10% more.
Okay, so like I heard something, I don't know if it's true, but is it true that houses go down like in the winter? Like the prices are lower?
It could. Everything depends, but usually it is. Why? There's less buyers, thinking about buying because it's through the holiday season. So they're not actively looking. It's cold. People got other priorities in mind, like Christmas, New Year. So people get in debt. So sometimes instead of saving the money to buy a house, they use the money to go spend it on themselves or family vacation. Second, some sellers need to sell the property before the year ends so they can catch a break on the next tax season. So they need to like sell their property before the end of the year. So everything depends, but usually it's a little slower. And so just that buyers get the upper hand.
Yeah, and so just speaking of that, so if it's your primary residence and you've lived in there at least 2 years, there is a personal exemption of $250,000 for a single person, or $500,000 for married, filing jointly. So if you do, like, say you do have your home, say you owned it a few years and you lived in it, you want to sell your home, you do not have to pay capital gains. So say your profit is $200,000, you're married, say it's $400,000, $450,000, you do not pay any taxes on that because of the exemption.
Wow. It's a good benefit. It's a good benefit of owning a home.
Yeah, and a lot of people, they don't know that. They don't know that you don't have to pay taxes on that. But the catch is you have to have lived in there at least 2 years, and it has to be your primary residence.
Correct. Yeah, so that's a benefit, like I said, of owning a home. You get tax benefits, the property increase over time.
And then you start building equity.
Yeah, what I'm saying, yeah, you build equity, the property increases value over time. Your first house is not going to be your forever home. Just try to get into any property that you can afford at the moment. Later on, if things changes, you can sell that property, get the equity back, put a larger down payment for your next home, and keep scaling up. Either keep scaling up to a better home or take some of the equity and diversify in an investment property. Buy a condo, buy a townhome. And that's how the wealthy, the rich people, that's how they get wealthy.
They build like their portfolio.
Yeah, through real estate. Yes. Regular people, they stay in a property as a rental property, renting a property for $1,000 a month for 10 years. Year 10, they're already paying like around $2,000 a month, right? Mm-hmm. And anything happens, like for example, you are protected. Like for example, when we had COVID, people that couldn't, continue working their job, or they got laid off, or there was a pause in the work, then they can opt in for forbearance. So they're protected.
And what is forbearance?
Forbearance is like if you have your property, you have a loan on the property, and if you can't make the payments, you can ask the bank to give you a lapse of time where you don't make payments of the property. In this case was COVID. That's a valuable reason. You know what? I'm unemployed. My business closed down. I cannot afford to pay the bills no more. So the bank allows you to have a gap of 3 months, 6 months, or after a year of not making any payments on the property. And then when the time period finished, then the money that you owe, that you didn't make payments of, that one gets put back in the back of the loan. So after the time period, then you continue making regular payments. Well, but it's a benefit. You don't lose the property. It's a benefit for you.
It doesn't affect your credit. So.
Now, contrary, if you're renting, if you get fired, if you get unemployed, you're screwed. The landlord will kick you out. The renting company, the property management company will kick you out, and you got nowhere to go. You've been living there for 10 years, pay your payments on time, but there's no benefit to you. And
Yeah, but you're not accumulating equity. So
yeah. So on the other hand, if you own the property, you'd be there for 10 years. Each payment that you make is like a forcible savings account because all the money that you put in each month, it gets built back up on your property.
see, you guys need to buy. And I feel like prices are going up here in Vegas. So if you're thinking about buying, you need to buy because pretty soon, with all the investors moving into Vegas, they're going to outprice the locals or they just buy everything cash, right?
Yeah, look at how Vegas is growing. We have the Aces coming to Vegas. We already have the Raiders. So it's not just the players themselves and their team. It's also their families, people from out of the state moving here to Vegas or working here to build all those the stadiums. But then they decide to live here. So you know what? Over here it's nice. It's hot, but it's nice. So let's buy a property here. So now the locals are competing with outsiders.
And especially there's a lot of people from California that move here. And everything is so expensive over there. But now the prices have increased here in Vegas because of everyone moving into the state.
Correct. So somebody from California, their property might be worth $850, $1 million. They come over here to Vegas. They can buy 3 new construction homes at $350 each, a townhome, $350 each. So they can buy 3 regular houses, rent 2 of them, and live in 1. So other people are making moves without you. So be conscious, think about yourself, and just make the move. Obviously, it's not going to be the perfect home, but just get in. Just get in where you fit in.
Yes. And you know what I like doing? I like listening to a lot of podcasts. I listen to a ton of podcasts to learn. One of my favorite podcasts is Alex Ramosi and his wife, Layla.
They're here in Vegas, right?
Yeah, they're here in Vegas. I try to go to their business, but you can't just go in. They didn't let me in. I try to get in, but I guess you have to call and they have to interview you.
Oh wow!
But anyways, I listen to a lot of podcasts just because you learn a lot of information.
Correct.
For business owners, or whatever type of industry you want to get into. But
yeah, in this business, being commission based or being a self-employed or a business owner, you're there alone. Nobody's there to pat you in the back or encourage you. So it's like a really lonely business. So that's why I have to have podcasts in order to nurture your mind, learn other things.
And network with other people.
Yeah, network. And
where did we meet each other?
The first time we met in Driven. In California with Albert Preciado.
What was that?
That was the first Driven I've been to, 2019.
That was in Long Beach.
In Long Beach, OBC.
That was the first Driven I went to.
Okay.
As well, and it was in Long Beach when it was the room was kind of darker, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
That was my first. Oh, I didn't know that was your first.
That was my first Driven. Before that, I never been to no events like that. Never been to masterminds. At the beginning, I didn't like Albert. I had a bunch of ads on social media about his event. I was like, and this guy is freaking cocky, always flashing his watches, his cars. But after a while, I got the warm feeling about him. Also, he brought his wife, his kids, his parents. So that said a lot about him. This guy is trustworthy because he have his wife there, his kids, his parents. So that was draw me in. So right away, I bought the ticket. It was around, I think $1,300 to be a VIP.
VIP?
Yeah, VIP, baby. So I was like, okay. So my first time, going to those events. And the key thing that got me was you're not here to learn. You're not here I'm not going to say nothing that's going to blow your mind and scale your business 10x. You're here to network with people next to you. So it depends where you are. Sitting down, you're going to network with people in that bracket.
I think the most.
So he was really honest of what the value we were going to get from that event. And yeah, I was there for 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022.
I think I've been to all of them except one.
Well, the last one I didn't go because because his whole team changed. So it was good.
Information is still good.
Oh yeah. The speakers are great. Speakers are great.
Whatever you can learn, and then I feel like the networking and all these type of events is priceless because you meet so many people and
from different states.
I feel like people are all more in like the same like headspace.
Correct.
So, yeah, I just
You meet people from different states,
Yeah.
different
and then you can
businesses.
talk, like, hey, what's working for you, or you're in real estate, or you're in like the tax world, like what's working for you. So,
No, I actually had a few referrals from that
Okay.
event.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
people from New Mexico. Another agent needed to had a client. They wanted to buy a house here in Las Vegas. I helped them with a new construction home here in Vegas. Some other agents from California sent me the referrals, back and forth, lenders. So it's always good to have your deck of cards, different people that you can connect with later on in the future. So don't just take that for granted. Save them in your contact list, because one day you might meet them, you might need them, and connect, and at the same time make money.
and get out of your comfort zone. That's what I recommend. Get out of your comfort zone. Go to events. If you don't go to any type of events, you're never going to meet anybody, and you're going to be like in your small circle.
Yeah,
So-
you gotta have an abundant mindset. Be happy for people that are doing good, because one day that's gonna be you. But if you have a mindset of envy and jealousy or hater, that's not good. You have to have that good energy in order to help other people, providing value, and they're gonna appreciate that from you, because you come in there as an honest person, as a clean vessel to help them out whatever they need. As soon as they get in touch with a lot of people from those events, even here in Las Vegas locally, try to help other business
I met
owners.
so many great people, like a ton of people from Driven and from my mentors, mentorship, like the best people ever.
Yeah.
And like I said,
And it inspires
like,
you.
We're all in business.
Yeah, and
So
inspires
we're
you
all,
to
like,
excel and
entrepreneurs,
succeed.
So you can talk to those people about like your business, like if you have a problem, or hey, what do you recommend? I want to run this by your head. So I feel like your network is your net worth.
It is. It is. It is. It is. That's a key input. Good advice. And so we're about to end the Hustle Radio with LV.
Hey, have you guys heard of? I've never seen gelato.
Gelato. Shout out to Rob. Shout out to Rob Gelato.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
It's a
Pretty cool,
company
right?
from San Diego,
Oh,
California.
it is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, but it just tastes like regular water.
It is really water.
Oh, okay.
So their main business is marijuana products. Yeah. Marijuana, some weed. But I don't.
Sure, there's no
THC, no CBD, no nothing. Yeah, but it's a cool guy. I like his brand. They do a lot of outreach to communities. When they had those fires in California, Rob and his team, they show up with vans full of water. People needed the essentials, so they always provide value. They sponsor athletes. They sponsor up and coming athletes, like I said, UFC fighters. They sponsor young kids, boxing, UFC. They sports. They sponsor all kinds of people. And yeah, that's for the community. Their motto is making water taste great again. No, making water cool again. Making water cool again. So shout out to Rob from San Diego, 619. He I bought some products. He hooked me up with a couple more boxes. And like I said, they offer marijuana products. I don't smoke, so I can't really talk about that much.
Me neither.
About the quality or nothing, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's good stuff. Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me. I enjoyed this podcast. This is my second podcast. The first podcast I did was in Long Beach. A few years ago. But, thank you. I'm happy to share my journey, my information. Hopefully, if I inspired anybody, if you're thinking about doing something, do it. If you're waiting, if you're like, no, I want to wait, there's never a perfect time.
Correct.
Just do it now, and then you can figure out how, if some problems come up, you can figure that.
Number one, get started.
Just do it. And listen to podcasts. I love podcasts. I start my morning by listening to business podcasts for about 2 hours. As soon as I wake up, boom, I throw a podcast on. Like right now, like I said, Alex Hermosi is my go-to. And that's how I start my day. I feed my brain with positive info. So thank you again.
Hey, you're welcome.
Look, I'm just talking forever.
No, you're good, you're good. And how can people get a hold of you? Tell us a little bit about like how to get a hold of you, your phone number.
You can contact my office, 702-650-0234, or you can, I'll put my Instagram, Taxes with Ivon, or my website. We're going to put everything, I guess, down below.
Yes, correct.
Or you can come visit me in person, or we can do it remote, however you want to do it.
Yeah, so Ivana is great. She's been doing my taxes for a few years now, and thanks to her, I'm able to
Save on taxes.
Save on taxes.
She understands everything.
I try. But I'm really satisfied with her, and know this her company is approved by me 100%. And if you need any tax related info, hit her up here in Las Vegas, even nationwide. Log into Instagram. Hit her up in the DMs and
Slide in the DMs.
Any business nationwide, talk to Ivon. She's the great. All right, guys. So thanks again for staying tuned. And just do your best. Get started. One more ticket to the top. LV. I'm out.